The Great Hall of the Galactic Council shimmered with bioluminescent walls, casting ethereal shadows across the assembled delegates. Representatives from 47 species sat in their designated sectors, their various forms creating a tapestry of the galaxy's diversity. At the center podium stood Alexa Chen, humanity's ambassador, her posture rigid and her expression carefully neutral. Nox Martinez, her military liaison, stood 3 steps behind her, his jaw clenched as he listened to the Council's decree. His uniform bore the insignia of Earth's United Defense Force, though those symbols meant nothing here. In this chamber where humanity had just been rendered obsolete, the motion passes, announced Councillor Thexel, his crystalline body refracting light in sharp angles. Humanity's petition for core membership is denied. Furthermore, human expansion beyond your current 3 systems is hereby prohibited for a minimum of 2 standard centuries. Alexa's knuckles whitened as she gripped the podium. 200 years. In galactic terms, barely a breath. In human terms, 8 generations condemned to stagnation. May I address the Council's reasoning? Alexa asked, her voice steady despite the tremor Nox could see in her shoulders. The reasoning is evident, replied Councillor Varmuth, her serpentine form coiling with dismissive grace. Humanity is too volatile, too aggressive, too young. You have been part of the galactic community for merely 50 years. You wage wars among yourselves even now. You lack the wisdom for expansion. Nox watched as Alexa's breathing slowed. He recognized that look. It was the same expression she'd worn when their delegation had discovered the truth. Buried in the Council's archives the real reason for humanity's restrictions. Humans learned too quickly, adapted too fast. In 5 decades, they had mastered technologies that took other species centuries to comprehend. The Council wasn't protecting the galaxy from humanity's aggression. They were protecting their own dominance from humanity's potential. I see, Alexa said quietly. She reached into her diplomatic pouch and withdrew a small data crystal, placing it on the podium with a gentle click that somehow echoed through the vast chamber. This contains humanity's formal response to the Council's decision. I request it be entered into the official record. Councillor Thexel gestured, and the crystal was retrieved by a hovering drone. Your protest is noted, Ambassador Chen. This Council session is we're not protesting. Alexa interrupted, her voice cutting through the chamber like a blade through silk. The delegates stirred. Interrupting a Council pronouncement was unprecedented. Then what? Thexel began. We're leaving. Alexa stated simply. She turned from the podium, her movements fluid and final. Nox fell into step beside her, and together they walked toward the massive doors of the Council chamber. Silence blanketed the hall, not the peaceful silence of meditation, but the shocked silence of creatures who had just witnessed something fundamentally wrong with their understanding of reality. Ambassador, Varmuth's voice cracked through the quiet. You cannot simply leave. There are protocols, procedures. Alexa paused at the threshold, turning her head just enough to be heard. We followed your protocols for 50 years, Councillor. We petitioned, we compromised, we waited, and you've made your decision. Now we've made ours. What does this mean? Demanded Thexel, his crystalline form flashing with agitation. It means. Nox spoke for the first time, his voice carrying the weight of military authority, that humanity withdraws from the Galactic Council, effective immediately. We will honor no treaties, recognize no jurisdiction, accept no limitations beyond those we impose upon ourselves. You'll be isolated. Another councillor shouted. Cut off from galactic trade, from technology exchanges, from a system designed to keep us confined, Alexa finished. Yes, we understand. We accept those terms. The doors opened before them, responding to their biometrics. As they crossed the threshold, Alexa spoke one final time, her words floating back into the chamber like autumn leaves on a cold wind. For 50 years, we believed joining you would elevate us. We were wrong. Goodbye, councillors. Perhaps in another 200 years, you'll have evolved enough to meet us as equals. The doors sealed behind them with a resonant finality. Inside the chamber, chaos erupted. Delegates shouted over one another, demanding explanations, calling for enforcement actions, proposing sanctions. But Councillor Thexel remained frozen at his position. staring at the sealed doors with a growing horror that slowly crystallized through his body. "What have we done?" he whispered. Varmuth slithered to his side. "We maintained order, preserved the balance. They'll realize their mistake within a decade. They'll come crawling back, begging." "No," Vexel interrupted, accessing the data crystal humanity had left behind. As he reviewed its contents, his worst fears materialized into certainty. "No, they won't." The crystal contained detailed analysis of every council member's species' technological development, resource distribution, and trade dependencies. More critically, it contained projections, terrifyingly accurate projections, based on humanity's demonstrated rate of advancement. Within 50 years, operating independently, humanity would match the Council's most advanced technologies. Within a century, they would surpass them. Within 2 centuries, the exact period the Council had demanded they remain confined, humanity would render the entire Galactic Council technologically obsolete. They weren't asking for permission to expand, Vexel said, his voice barely audible. They were giving us one last chance to be part of their expansion. Varmuth's serpentine eyes widened as she reviewed the data. "This is speculation, projections. It doesn't mean, look at the signature on the final page," Vexel commanded. She looked. Her form went rigid. The document was co-signed by representatives from 12 other species that were current Council members, species that had apparently been conducting secret dialogues with humanity, species that had just watched humanity walk away and were now, according to time-stamped declarations appended to the document, withdrawing their own Council memberships. "They've been building an alternative alliance," Varmuth breathed. "Right under our sensors, outside the Council station, Alexa and Nox boarded their shuttle. Through the viewport, they could see other ships detaching from docking ports. The delegates from those 12 species, following humanity into voluntary exile. Do you think they understood?" Nox asked as their pilot initiated departure protocols. Alexa watched the Council station shrink behind them, its lights dimming in the distance like a dying star. "They will, eventually, when they see what we build without their restrictions. When they realize that their greatest mistake wasn't underestimating human potential, it was assuming we'd wait for their permission to achieve it." The shuttle jumped to faster-than-light travel, carrying humanity away from the Galactic Council and toward a future unbound by fear disguised as wisdom. Behind them, in that great hall of 47 species, Councillor Vexel made an announcement that would echo through galactic history. "Emergency session. We need to discuss how to repair relations with humanity." But even as he spoke, he knew the truth that every delegate was beginning to comprehend. The Council hadn't rejected humanity. Humanity had rejected them. And in the silence of their walking away, the Council had heard the footsteps of their own obsolescence approaching.